All right, it's time for Friday feedback. You can write to info@davidpakman.com if you have any compliments, comments, requests, criticisms of the show. Info@davidpakman.com is the place to write. We also will sometimes feature YouTube comments or TikTok replies or who knows what. But we're starting today with a beautiful email from Carrie. We rarely get these. Carrie says, "Hey, David, been listening to your podcast a couple years, website member for a year. Just wanted to drop a quick message about how much I love and appreciate your show. I look forward to listening to it every day, and thank you for working so hard to put out a show every day, and truly don't know how I would stay sane in this election without it. Thank you again for everything you do. Keep it up, Carrie." Well, thank you, Carrie. It is great to get messages like these. Even people who like the show usually hate elements of it, and they usually only write in about the elements that they hate. So I really do appreciate it. And thanks to Carrie for being a member on my website. That is, of course, our primary funding source. It keeps us going. Without that, like poof, like what? Like cotton candy when you pour water on it, we would be gone overnight. So really appreciate Carrie. All right. Now for a different perspective, we received a message on TikTok from Antolyrics who said, "You support gays. That's disgusting behavior the Western countries and the USA should do away with. You are a disgrace to humankind." A disgrace to humankind. You know, it's sort of jarring. 12 years ago, when I would do the show and I would get people writing in, "I can't believe you support gays." And it would be like, okay, you still kind of have a group of people that's obsessed with that. But now that we've legalized gay marriage and it's been years, and of course, everything's completely fine and none of the sky is falling predictions came to be, it's kind of jarring to get messages like, "I'm bad because I support gay people." What does that even mean at this point? I don't support just imprisoning gay people. I don't support the death penalty for gay people, like some of these people say that their religious beliefs dictate. What does it even mean that I support gay people? I don't care about your identity. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity and not have rights or privileges based on identity or have them taken away based on identity. Yes, to that extent, I support gay people in the same way that I support men and women and white people and black people and Jewish people, Christians, Muslims, and atheists. Everybody gets to participate in society without discrimination against them, without being jeered, harassed, hate crimes, all of that stuff. Call me a supporter of gay people, if that's what you mean. 2024, and we're still dealing with this. South's Last Rebel, commented on YouTube, "I'm sure you liberals would love for him not to be behind bulletproof glass. LOL. Vote red, President Trump 2024. You know, it's funny. In the aftermath of the first time Trump was shot at by a Republican, I immediately said I completely denounce political violence and violence of any kind. President Biden said the same thing. Kamala Harris said the same thing. Every Democrat said the same thing. That's not what you saw after Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, had his skull cracked in with a hammer in their home in California. You saw a very different reaction. And then after another former Trump voter, this time at Trump's golf club in Florida over the weekend, was found with an AK-47 style rifle plotting to shoot at Trump. Again, after former Trump voter, Trump wasn't Trumpy enough for this Trump voter. I said, this is disgusting. I want to win at the ballot box, not with bullets. And yet I keep getting messages like this. You liberals would love for Trump to be shot dead. No, that's not the way I want to win. I don't know where this guy's getting this idea. Stuart wrote in about Trump's contradictory abortion argument and says, David, I want your help clarifying a point made by Trump regarding the abortion debate. Trump has stated everyone wanted abortion rights to return to the states, but simultaneously claims that only he could make it happen, that it took 50 years and was only accomplished because of him as his appointed justices. Could you explain how this aligns? If it was widely desired, why was no one able to make it happen before Trump? His argument seems contradictory. That's Stuart from Manchester, UK. So here's the way I think Trump would say it. Even though everybody wanted it being the repeal of Roe v. Wade, even though everybody wanted it all along, thanks to Democrats, the left, liberals, Marxists, communists, socialists, whatever, the Supreme Court was held back from having the makeup that would have been required to overturn Roe v. Wade. So Trump's explanation, and I'm not saying I agree with it because most people actually wanted Roe v. Wade to stay. The premise is a lie. Most people wanted Roe v. Wade to stay, but it doesn't matter. Trump's explanation would be the stars aligned perfectly so that he could nominate these 3 Supreme Court justices at the exact time that the right cases would come before them and the will of the people would finally be done. The biggest problem with this argument is it's not the will of the people. And more people today than at any point in the last 50 years believe abortion should be legal in most cases. Kathy Jennings wrote in, I guess about Kamala, referring to her as Camilla. This is really weaponized, unintelligible stuff. And I just want to remind you that these people vote. Quote, you do not understand real business. You understand Camilla's business. Nothing, zero business for America. We, the Americans, need something better. We need Donald Trump and office. Somebody that got balls, a real man. Amends to talk to the dictators and tell him what to do and what not. Couldn't possibly respond to that. Someone in my audience, please vote to cancel out the vote of this deranged person that is commenting on my YouTube channel. Another YouTube comment. I want Donald Trump to lose, and I was a lifelong Republican until he came along. Yeah, it seems that there are many of you. The question is, are there enough of you in the states where it matters to make a difference in terms of who is going to win? Welcome. Okay. Do I agree with all of these Republicans who now go, no, Trump's not for me? No, I'm sure we would disagree on tax policy, education policy, social policy, foreign policy, domestic policy. I'm sure we would disagree about all those things. But at least we wouldn't disagree that we should have a democracy, I would hope. At least we wouldn't disagree that the winner of the election should get to be president. So, yeah, when I talk about let's welcome all of these anti-Trump Republicans, it's not because all of a sudden I've gone right wing and I agree with them. It's because even when we disagree on a lot of political issues, we agree about basic decency and democracy, hopefully. And to the extent that we do, they can come to our side. I'm not going to theirs. They can come to our side. We should be encouraging it. David Peterson commented, the reality is Trump wouldn't even have a VP if it wasn't a traditional necessity. Oh, absolutely. I don't know that we've ever talked about this, but it's an excellent point. Trump doesn't want a VP. J.D. Vance is a burden to Trump. Trump gets asked, J.D. said this, and Trump has to say, I actually haven't spoken with J.D. about it. And he kind of throws him under the bus. Trump has to deal with the fact that the popularity of J.D. Vance is a problem for Trump. Trump doesn't want any of these issues. It is absolutely right what David is saying. If it wasn't a sort of requirement and necessity, Trump would go, I know better than everybody. Don't need a VP. I'm going to be fine. If something happens to me, Laura Loomer or whoever will just sit in for me and it'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, that's the level of his narcissism and egomania. Randor Orlando says, I was a Republican registered voter before Trump got involved in American politics, and I want Trump and his MAGA cult to lose this November. I don't recognize the Republican Party anymore. Yeah, another one of those that come on over, Vote for democracy. Vote for keeping the pillars that the country was built on stable and intact. Come on over. And then Susan wrote in about Trump's decline. His decline is so obvious, says Susan. When will the grown-ups in the Republican Party step up and admit that he is totally incapable of the presidency? You know when they'll do it? If and when he loses. That's it. They are desperate. They are thirsty for power. And they see that if Kamala Harris is president, they're not going to be buddy-buddy with the president and have access to power. However, if Trump is president and they suck up to him enough and in the right way, then they could have access to power. And they like the perks. I can go to the White House. I can go on Air Force One. I can fly with Trump to wherever it is that he's going. They are desperate for it. And so you will hear the Republican Party at large. You know, we hear it anecdotally, Mitt Romney, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. But if you want the party in some bigger way to really say Trump's a disaster, that's it, he can't do it, he's not fit, it will take Trump losing in November or winning and then being out of office in January of 2029, which, by the way, sounds very far away, doesn't it? Let's not make it that option. We've got a great bonus show for you today. Sign up at joinpakman.com. Please remember to pre-order my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine, available at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, Audible, Apple Music Books, music audiobooks, Apple audiobooks. You can call any independent local bookstore and tell them, please order David Pakman's The Echo Machine for me from Beacon Press. They will do it. They'll get it on release day. And I will give you an update Monday as to where we are on pre-orders.